Hello, hello, hello. Dina Mitchell here, executive menopause coach and NLP master practitioner. And I just want to welcome you to Tuesday, May 19th's call. We're going to have a little bit of a shorter call today, um, continuing our conversation around identity over performance. And today we're going to be working on learning how to sit in an observer seat. Now, this is something that I work with a lot of clients on, especially when they are emotionally charged around things, not able to step into what we might call a resourceful state, right? So, one of the things that I notice with menopause and is that we end up feeling incredibly raw, and we're pulled in many different directions. We have many different things we need to be responsible for. And for a long time, we were totally capable of doing it. And then a day came and we weren't anymore capable. So that can get very frustrating because you literally don't know what's going on. And until somebody says, "Hey, have you had your hormones checked lately?" And there is conversation that maybe that's not like, I see a lot of people selling like, get your hormones checked. Well, you do need to have them checked continually over time. If you haven't had them checked, a baseline would probably be really good. Um, so that you know, moving forward how to respond and react. So in when all of this is going on, the whole purpose of the reclaim room is to empower you so that you know who you are, you know what your your desires are, and you're willing to advocate for yourself both professionally, personally, and health-wise. And one of the ways that we can do that is by sitting in an observer seat. We walk through life and we pick up these beliefs and these thoughts that we kind of put on repeat, right? So it's really kind of interesting when you start to look at the different patterns that you've been running. And a lot of those patterns, what's happening is they're not serving you as an adult, right? They worked really, really well when you were younger. They might have gotten you through your college years, might have gotten you through high school, might have gotten you through grade school. And quite honestly, it might have gotten you through your first big jobs, whether that was sometimes it gets us through our marriage. But the honest truth is it's not going to move you forward into the next part of your journey. And when we talk about identity over performance, we talk about getting in touch with the person you were actually created to be. Um, Learning how to sit in your, what I like to call, observer seat. Let me show you an example of an observer seat. Oh, here you go. Now, my observer seat, I have it kind of like one of those wonderful little hippie swings. Um, this is what we call your yourself, right? And when you can sit with yourself in the chair, observing the thoughts you're having. So let's just try something out here. Give me a little. Take 3 nice deep breaths in. Feel your neck loosen up, your shoulders loosen up. Some of you, your chatter might have already started. What is she doing? She's crazy. Why are we even here? This is a big waste of time. We've got something better to do. Or maybe you're thinking about the grocery list or something you need to prep for work. Or maybe you have an overwhelming need to just cry. Whatever you're feeling is perfectly okay. Allow yourself to sit in the observer seat and then just notice. Notice the thoughts. And let them go. Notice the ones that are a little bit louder, a little softer. And the ones that sounded like your grade school bully. And the ones that sounded like that 5-year-old version of you that had something really special they wanted to show somebody and they were kind of blown off. You see, as we walk through life, we pick up these stories about ourselves. And when we spend a little bit of time in the observer seat, we're able to notice what's true and maybe, just maybe, what no longer is true for you. You might notice that you have a very loud voice that's trying to tell you what you need to do or who you need to be, and then a very soft voice. As you sit in this observer seat and you recognize this internal chatter, I'd like you to consider for just a little bit that both of the chatter, voices, thoughts, they are not you. Some of it you might believe to be true, some of it maybe not. Also notice that both have positive intention. Both are saying maybe the exact opposite things, but both with the intention of helping you achieve the same thing. You see, it's not uncommon for a part of us to want to shrink down businesses, be angry with our spouse, get upset with the children, control the children, because that's how we show love. That's how we were taught to um, behave, control what we think will give us joy, happiness, peace, safety, security. When really the path to those things, that peace, that joy, that love, that safety, that security, lies on the other side with the other voice, telling us to go for it, or maybe telling us to rest. Depending on where you are in this coaching journey with me, some of you have learned the ability to sit in a rest and restore state. Some of you are coming into this environment in survival mode with adrenal fatigue and not really knowing how to rest and restore. And there's a voice inside of you that says, push harder, you've got to do more, you're not doing enough. Why are you not showing up differently? And it thinks that that's helping you get success. And you have another part of you that might be saying, we need some sleep. We need to create some white space. We need to disconnect for just a minute. And then we can step in and allow all of the things that we desire to come to us instead of feeling like we have to fight for everything. Some of us were taught the belief that you have to fight for everything. Some of us were taught that in order to make a lot of money, you had to work hard. Just have an awareness and maybe even put your hand on your stomach and on your chest and just keep breathing. Noticing, I promise you, you're not Sybil, you're not crazy. This is just being aware of the chatter in our voice, in our head, sorry, that's controlling us unconsciously. Part of identity over performance is truly disconnecting your worth from what you do and also reconnecting your worth with who you are. And so tonight, part of your practice is to sit in the observer seat and just notice. We've been working on the North Star worksheet. You can find it in the Reclaim Room files. I will make sure it's there again. Notice, just notice. You are not your thoughts. Those are things that came about as you walked your path. A phenomenal book on this is the Michael Singer Untethered Soul. The path out of fight or flight survival mode is learning how to sit in the observer seat. Because you see, when I am an observer of my thoughts, when I am an observer of the world around me, I can then become aware of the beliefs and stories that I have for what I see, what I hear, and what I think. As part of our menopause coaching journey, we will learn that awareness of our body is the pathway to passion, purpose, and the ability to advocate for our health. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy your observer seat. Spend 5-10 minutes in that observer seat. Be well.